Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. And it's not just any day, it is Wise Women's Wednesday. Gosh, I love it when y'all show up and we get together and we have the best time. So welcome to Wise Women's Wednesday. We don't have anybody saying hello yet. I know you're there. Start talking to me, baby. Start talking to me. All right, we have all kinds of stuff happening. There they are. Hello, Patsy. So good to see you. Last night, too. Oh, Joanne, how long has it been? Debbie's here. Trisha's here. It's good to have friends in the house, isn't it? It's so good. It's so good. Jackie, Christine, my goodness. So fun. Yeah, we're going to have a good time today because we're going to talk about getting stuff done. You know, it is the beginning of the year. Hello, Nancy, and cheers. Here's my empty hand. Upstairs, I have my everything. You know how it is. Yeah, I'm just glad you're here, Nancy. Jane, good to have you. Joanna, nice for you to be here. Lynn, everybody is in the house. You know, it's because it's Wise Women's Wednesday. All the good stuff. This is where all the good stuff comes, right? So anyway, I'm really excited about today because we've talked about this concept before, and we're going to talk about it again. But this is the thing that you can take all the way to the bank, right? This is something that I would love you to put this concept in your journal and kind of run your head through it because it's a big deal. It is a huge big deal, especially if you're super sick and tired of breaking promises to yourself and you really want to be able to trust yourself again, follow through and get stuff done. This is what we want to do. Hi, Linda. Lynn is in the house too. We're really going to have a raucous good time today. So before I do that, just one more thing that you need to know is that the Vibrant Body Detox, we're going to start this as a group. This happens on Monday, January 16th, I believe. So it's coming. With this, you get the bonus of the Vibrant Body Detox plan for free, and you get a bunch of dinners and lunches, extra recipes that are all compliant with this, as well as some healing bone broths, all recipes that you will absolutely use forever and ever, amen. Go to savingdinner.com/show to pick up this deal. We will get this out today, so just get on it. Wendy, so nice to have you here. Anyway, I'm excited about this because, listen, I am super anti-detox and all those celebrity cleanses and all of that. It's garbage. But I'm here to tell you something about your body. Your body detoxifies all the time. It's constantly in a state of detoxification. You know, your liver is a gigantic filter, by the way. So understand that what this supplement does only is support your detoxification organs and pathways that are already working. It's just extra for them. And then when we go with this very anti-inflammatory program, and you follow that to the letter, you're going to see so many really good things happen. The bonuses that we're giving are $34 in free. They will come as you order your detox, and we will get this in the mail to you today. Okay? So I'm just saying, let's do this. Let's do this. Our quote of the week. I love it. James Clear. You know, I love him. I love his book, Atomic Habits. He is the man. I've listened to the book. I've read the book. That's how good it is. And here's the deal. All big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single, tiny decision. Just remember this, that choices are decisions and decisions are choices. And that even if we choose not to make a decision, we've still chosen by default. You can't get out of it. We have to make decisions. This is why it's super empowering and super important that you understand you can stand in your power by making a decision. No reason to back off of it. Christine, it's so nice to have you here. It's been a very, very long time. Happy New Year to you. Alice is here. So good. So good. Hi, Mary. Golly, another one I haven't seen for a long time. Mary, I was just thinking about you the other day. I'm not kidding. I always thought, whatever happened to Mary? I haven't seen her in a long time. Anyway, so glad to have you here. So today, what we're going to be talking about is the fact that we want to make good decisions, and we want to be motivated to make them, especially in this brand new shiny year, especially because we're trying to reclaim and take back our power, our lives, our bodies, our everything, aren't we? We're motivated this time of year, obviously. We're motivated this time of year. So I have found that there is a really clear way and a clear distinction on how to move the needle and how to get things done. Okay. And let's talk about it because it's an old familiar quote. I've talked about this before, and we're going to talk about it again. And it starts like this. It's a quote from Mark Twain. You ready? Eat a live frog first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you for the rest of the day. Now, of course, that elicits a chuckle because it's like, yeah, I'm not much into frog eating, but if you are into frog eating, you're into taking care of the hardest thing that you have to do first thing in the morning so that it's not hanging over your head. The mother of procrastination is putting off stuff you hate to do. And I get that. I totally get that. Lynn gives me a little frog. Hi, Jeanette. It's just, I can't even tell you how important this concept is. And I don't know if I said hello to Jane, but there's my Jane. So hello to Jane again, if I haven't. This is the thing that I want you to understand about it, about this whole thing, is if we can get this in our mind and we just try it. And can I just make a challenge, give you a challenge? Who's ready for a challenge, a pinkies up challenge? Sue's here in the house as well. This is the challenge. If you have something that you really dread, that you're not really on board with, a new habit that maybe it's tough to do, can I challenge you to have it be the first thing that you do every single morning? Can I? Will you try it out? Now, adjust it and customize it. I mean, if you say to me, but first thing in the morning, I've got to change the baby's diapers, or I got to take care of my dad, or I've got to whatever. Gotcha. But the next thing after that, can that be your first thing? Because what I'm talking about is breaking the back of the habit that says, oh, I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. And here it is. It's after dinner. You're sitting with your spouse on the couch and snuggling up and saying, ooh, I'm ready for more, what is that? The White Lotus, or whatever it is that you might be watching. And then you suddenly realize in the back of your head, you know what? I committed to doing this and I didn't do it. I put it off and now the day is done. And all I'm saying is we need to break the back of that habit by doing something different, by shifting it and changing it. And yes, you can customize this to fit. You can maybe time block it if you want. But I am asking you to take a look. If there is something, what's glaring at you right now? What's in your craw as I talk about this, and you just say, she's talking to me. I said I'm going to exercise every day. I said this is what it's going to be. I said I was going to journal. I said I was going to meditate. I said I was going to whatever. And I keep putting it off. Here's your frog. You know what your frog is. You know the name of your frog. You know what it looks like. Look it dead in the eye and say, tomorrow you're my breakfast. Okay? Pinkies up on that. I'm just saying. And if you are on the job and your job is to eat a frog and you're not really liking it, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. Best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. Or as Brian Tracy says, eat the ugliest one first. I love that so much. Isn't it great? So Sandy, what is a frog? A frog is the thing that you don't want to do if you just came in here. Sometimes we have things that we put off. Sometimes we have things that we just don't want to do. Sometimes we say, I'm going to exercise. These are the things I'm going to do. You're all excited. You're stoked. And then the day comes and you're going, I'll do it later. I'll do it after lunch. I'll do it at 3:00. I'll do it after, I'll do it at 4:00. I'll do it right before dinner. I'll do it after dinner. And then you're on the couch watching TV and it's over. And you've put it off and you've pushed it off. And my whole thing is just eat a live frog first thing in the morning and nothing worse will happen to you for the rest of the day. That's Mark Twain's advice. And Brian Tracy says, if you've got two, well, Mark Twain says, if you've got two frogs, eat the big one first. And what Brian Tracy says, he says, I say, eat the ugliest one first. I have a feeling he's right. And I have a feeling that the big one is also the ugliest one because frogs aren't exactly pretty, are they? Hi, Autumn. Yes, Brian Tracy. So here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Mary's looking for an accountability partner if anybody wants to buddy up with her. So this concept is similar to, if you've been around for a while, then you know about my technique of kitchens closed. If you have a bad habit of snacking after dinner, we can retrain our brains. And a lot of times, if we think about all the senses that we deal with, we think about how we hear, we see, we smell, we feel, right? We have all of these senses that are about us. So if we can bring in a disruptor like kitchens closed, we can start reprogramming our brain. Our brain is like, whoa, pay attention to that. Because oftentimes what it is that we start writing out stuff and we're saying, yeah, we're going to do all these things. And then we go right back into the old Oregon Trail. It's what we know. It's what we do. It's what is done. And I'm saying to you that when we say and make a decision that we're going to stop the snacking nonsense, especially after dinner, we need to go in and we need to alert our brains about it. Hey, kitchen's closed. And I will tell you it makes a difference. I will tell you it makes a difference. And this is the same type of a concept about frog eating, right? The frogs get eaten first. You will find that as you move these things that have been procrastinated over and over and over again to the end of your day, and sometimes don't ever even get done or started, as you push it to the front of your day, you are going to feel so much better about yourself. This is when we start to feel a little bit stronger and a little bit more in control of what's going on. So the thing is, when we eat our frogs first thing in the morning, we don't have time for wavering. We don't have time for discussion. We don't have time for, going hemming and hawing. And we are 100% in. Remember, I've also said before, and you've heard me say this before, that if you find yourself into the place where you are going, yeah, I'm in, but it's only 95% or even 98%, there's wiggle room. But if you have made a decision to eat the frog and you're 100% in, you lose your wiggle room. And it's just, here it is. It's 9:00 in the morning. Let's go. And then you get it done. You do it again, you get it done. Do it again, and you get it done. So whatever works for you. So it's like Sandy she's starting slow with short times. That's what works for her. For me, I need a little bit more than that. And I understand for myself. And again, remember what I'm saying about customizing, this whole thing. So Sandy's frogs are smaller than mine. My frog is a little bit bigger, but this is also appropriate for me and for where I am. And you need to make your decisions too about yours and customize it to fit, right? Nobody ever can dictate exactly the way it is that you should do something. Don't ever let people should on you. So my whole point is, though, we don't want to have a discussion about it. We don't want to be 95% in, putting our toe, standing on the fence, mostly over on this side, but not quite on that. We want 100%. 100% commitment to what it is that you're doing. Now, don't be ridiculous. If you have never done something, don't, if you want to start at the gym, for example, go with their smallest program. Don't pay all up front 1 year and what have you. Say, well, yeah, that's really going to make me do it. Not a lot. Not really. Maybe not. Maybe you need to rethink that and take a look at it and determine your level of decision, your level of commitment, and then just go. And be gentle on yourself at the very beginning, just like Sandy is. Be gentle and be kind to yourself. And just say, my biggest commitment is it's at 9 a.m. or whatever time it is that you determine is when this is all happening. This is how we get to the frog eating, right? This is how we get it done. So the other problem that we have that comes into play here, of course, is the failure to execute. And that's a huge problem. It happens in organizations, in companies. It happens in jobs. And and I know, I've done this myself too, is like when you put off and push something to the end of when it should happen, we find ourselves really getting down on ourselves. The anxiety levels grow, stress, all of that. And it changes our body's chemistry, When we're good to ourselves and we give ourselves like, this is when we're going to do it. This is when the decision is. We stop the wavering. We do all of these things and we just show up and do the thing. Even if it's just for 5 minutes or 10 or whatever, or just get started, we'll see things change. In Atomic Habits, which, I absolutely adore that book. One of the things that the author talks about, which I thought was really interesting, was just showing up at the gym. All he had to do was get into the parking lot. That was it. And so what he would do is he would get his bag, he would grab his bag, which was always ready to go, and he would just show up at the gym. He'd be in the parking lot with the gym, and he'd say, well, now that I'm here, I might as well go in. I'll just do it for 5 minutes. And the next thing you know, an hour later, he's leaving. And that's the whole thing. BJ Boggs has a great book called Tiny Habits. And Tiny Habits is the same thing. It's just like basically putting on a sock and a shoe. Just one sock, one shoe. And once that's on, you can take it off if you want to, or you can put on the second sock and the second shoe and then just walk up your driveway, And then if you're there and you decide you want to go more, great. If you don't, then go right back into your house. And of course, I'm acting like everybody's got a, supersonic driveway like I do, but same idea. So look at that and just give yourself that amount of grace and then make a decision. Once you there's your decision, right? The decision is made and concrete and in stone that we're going to at least do this much. And then you can go to the next frog if you want and say the option to keep going and to step foot into the gym, to go up the driveway and out for the walk. That's all up to you. Sometimes it's just down the street and back. Allow for all of that and watch how you feel about yourself. You get the affirmation back. And what happens? Again, your body chemistry changes. You have no longer broken the promise to yourself. You have kept your promise. You have done the work and you feel good. And then when you do even a little bit more, you're looking like this is extra credit. The endorphins go bonkers. And you're really starting to feel good. Here comes the dopamine, the serotonin, and hey, feeling really good about myself. I am getting things done. This is what we mean about frog eating. So what do we need to do to get this done? There are some steps. There's always action steps. Patsy's my driveway is a complete workout. And let me, just FYI, when I first started with my driveway, which again, seriously, it's about like this. I remember walking up that driveway and going, oh my gosh, this is bad. And then now it's just like, it's no big deal. If I have to go up to the post box, which is up on the top of the driveway. And same with the stairs. I think there's 67 stairs, 80 something. I don't know. It's either 86 or 67 or 87 or I don't know. there's a lot of stairs getting down to the lake. And it used to be a big deal. It's not anymore. We do things on repeat and we get the bonus, don't we? We get the bonus. I have great glutes. And I've also, my squats have very much improved just by doing glutes all the day. I can now do a squat almost all the way down where my bottom almost hits the floor. It's been many years since I've done that, but I've been working on that for a long time. It's one of my goals. And it takes a little bit of doing, a little bit of doing, and a little bit of doing. That little bit of doing makes every business in the world. Hello, Deborah. I'm glad you're here. So absolutely. Catherine is in the house as well, y'all. So good. So here's it just makes all the difference in the world. These little things add up. You do not build a bicep overnight. You just, we all have the same bicep, right? Well, not the same one, but we all have biceps in our body. If you have an arm, you have a bicep. I don't have any videos of me working out, but I do have pictures of me working out. We don't want videos of that. I don't want anybody seeing that. I'll show you my squat sometime. Maybe I'll get Mark to film me on my squat. I'm pretty proud of that. And in pickleball, it's very helpful because when you're in the transition zone, anybody plays pickleball, when you're from the baseline and you're working to the transition zone, you kind of stop and you have to do a deep squat and you're playing leaning forward. And, it takes a little bit of muscle there. And that's one of the things that I noticed. And so I started developing that on my strength training days. So it works. But we're going to be eating some frogs here. And so we need to start thinking, what is it that I need to do? How do I do this? How do I implement all this stuff? Okay. Well, the first thing is you want to plan it out. When am I going to do this? Don't just pull any number out of your head unless you have absolutely no schedule whatsoever. Instead, you want to plan it, take a look at your whole day and analyze it. What works? What's going to be a good, right about time slot for you? If you're working, obviously that's going to make a big difference and you're going to have to be pretty strict with yourself, but you plan it and get your pencil and schedule it. Can I just tell you something about scheduling? When we schedule ourselves an appointment with ourselves to do the work that we've planned, then we find ourselves in a whole different place. You feel good about what you just wrote. You feel good about checking it off. Oh boy, do I love a check off. Doesn't that work great? It makes it fantastic. So when you plan it, you know what's happening, and you're on your week, what's coming up and that you're going to be doing it. When you write it, you're telling your brain, hey, listen, brain, this is what we're going to be doing. And then you block it out. Jenny knows this because she's got access to my calendar because, I do coaching appointments as well. And the big deal for me is I will block time off for myself for these various and sundry things that I have to do. I block off my pickleball time. I don't feel bad about that. This is part of my exercise. I block off my workout time. Don't feel bad about that. I even block off time where I take the dog for a big walk because that's part of his exercise and mine too. And when we do that, we're saying, I am a priority, just as much as those damn frogs are. I am a priority and I am going to do this for myself. When you put yourself in the first spot of being a priority, you start to feel differently about yourself. You start to get results for yourself and everything changes. Oh, Autumn, you don't know what pickleball is? Google it, honey. Go watch some on YouTube. It's like if ping pong and tennis had a baby, it'd be pickleball. It's crazy. I play a lot of pickleball. I played competitively. So that's what it is. Number 2, this is a big one. Use your evening ritual for best results. You know why? Because your evening ritual is the thing that is going to help you set up for the next day. And you'll start thinking about it. You'll be totally ready for it. You will be totally ready for it. Okay, tomorrow. So it's, what I do as I'm getting ready for the next day, I always look at my Google Calendar to see what appointments are set and what meetings and everything else. When I don't, I have a disastrous day. Ask everybody here who works here. They know. Every once in a while, it'll just slip and I'll just go, oh, my day is a disaster. It's upside down. So I like to know what to expect. So it calms me down And then I'm ready for the next day, and I can look at it and see, is there any course correction that needs to happen so that I don't, if something, were to fall down. And of course I use my, wherever it is, here it is. I use my Take Back Your Life journal, because in there, let me show you, if I can find a place. Look, in there, what you have are your wins for the day, and you also have your path corrections. And your wins for today basically are saying, I ate the frog, I did the work, I did the blah, 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 and everything was great. And your course correction might say that, I started to put it off, I started to push it back, and then I said, no way, I'm not doing that anymore. And so I just need to my course correction is to stay on my time schedule, the scheduled time that I have, or I need to correct the time schedule because maybe it's just too tight, whatever it is, but it keeps you in awareness and it keeps you in the present. Does that make sense? It makes all the difference in the world. Number three rather, is productivity is put on notice when you do this. Absolutely. And your productivity in your mind is switched on. It's not switched down. It's not like in Netflix or zone mode on your phone. It's switched on because these things are coming up. So if you can eat a frog, you can do anything. If you can put that frog first to be eaten, you can do absolutely anything, because now you're in productivity mode and things are going to get done. And number 4 is, this is a how to feel good strategy. That's pretty much what the whole thing is. It's not only a how to feel good strategy, but it's how to start off the day right. You start off the day right, you raise all those feel good hormones, and you see yourself in a completely different light. You see yourself, instead of saying, I'm just not a morning person, don't say that ever again, by the way, because that just basically dismisses you from having to do anything in the mornings. Start saying, I can do anything. I can eat a frog first thing in the morning. I've got this. Start shifting your language. And when you start saying, I'm not this kind of a blank person, putting yourself in the corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner, by the way. Not on my watch. You're more capable than you think. You're smarter than you think. You're more productive than you think. And yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I want to say this to you right now. Anytime you have ever put yourself down and said you can't, you're overwhelmed, it's too hard, blah, 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 whatever, you put yourself in a place of being absolutely paralyzed and not able to move. And not being able to move, it means that you're not going after what it is that you want. You want to live your life in full bloom. You want to have a vibrant life. Start getting used to the delicious taste of frogs. Okay? Frogs. They're your ticket out of procrastination. How's that? You are such a morning person, Catherine. I love it. I love it. I also appreciate the fact that you all show up here. You are the best. Look at all this. Look at all these new people we have. So good. Rebecca, hello. So good to have you here. And Autumn, I'm glad you're here as well. If I miss saying hello to you, I miss seeing you. Thank you so much for showing up for Wise Women's Wednesday. We will be back again on Thursday. We will. Thursday. So be sure to join me tomorrow at 1 p.m. In the meantime, if you missed any of our announcements, go to savingdinner.com/announcements. Everything is there. Peace out. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.